Good afternoon, thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mseya Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. IG vows to ensure that no political party holds rallies. EDITH NAWAKWI says HH can't rule Zambia because he is a selfish man. Join me with the Midday News in detail after this commercial.
And the Patriotic Front have facilitated the construction of a modern one-stop border post at Wami in partnership with neighboring Malawi, demonstrating their commitment towards increased trade. The soon-to-be launched border post will aid human movement and trade among Zambia and Malawi and Mozambique via the Natala corridor. Vote for Edgar Chagolungu and the PF that have brought you change.
And now the Midday News in detail. 3 people sustained burn injuries when 3 fuel tankers exploded in a garage situated along Muka Road in Lusaka. Deputy Police Public Relations Officer Danny Mwale says the 3 males who are yet to be identified are currently receiving treatment at the University Teaching Hospital.
It is a rare circumstance in Zambia to witness fuel tankers on fire, but confirmed reports from the Zambia police indicate that an inferno saw 3 people sustain burn injuries when the fuel tankers exploded in a garage situated along Mukwa Road in Lusaka. Deputy Police Public Relations Officer Danny Mwale says the 3 males who are yet to be identified were rushed to the University Teaching Hospital where they are receiving treatment.
The 3 males who are yet to be identified were rushed to the University Teaching Hospitals where they are receiving treatment. Brief facts of the incident are that today, around 11 hours, a tanker registration number DZ74CC GP caught fire when the generator they were using to transfer fuel from one tanker to the other developed a fault and ignited. The other 2 tankers bearing registration number AOB 3888 and DZ74BT GP, which were parked near to each other, also caught fire and were badly damaged.
And this is what remained of the vehicles after the inferno. It serves as an eye-opener on the need to be proactive on safety issues. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Government has announced that it will soon be introducing specific power tariffs for the water sector on account that high electricity costs negatively affect the water utility companies. National Water Supply and Sanitation Council NASCO's Chief Inspector Peter Mtale is confident that the water electricity tariffs will help cushion water companies. He says the government, in cooperation with its partners, also provides relief to the water sector to help mitigate the operations and maintenance costs.
Electricity tariffs were increased for domestic and commercial consumers by about 200% and 49% respectively to help ZESCO, the supplier, operate efficiently and viable. The electricity tariffs came into effect on January 1st, 2020. Meanwhile, water is both an economic and social good, but the upward adjustment also affected the water sector. Lusaka Water and Sanitation Company is among the 9 water utility firms highly affected, as most of the money goes towards servicing the electricity bill. Jonathan Kampata is Lusaka Water and Sanitation Company Managing Director.
Electricity, and again, discussions are still going between the ministry and the government to see how the utility companies can be cushioned in terms of the electricity tariffs which are quite high. Because you can imagine, even as a utility company in Lusaka, our monthly electricity bill was about 4.5 million kwacha. That's in January. That is before the increase was effected. After the increase, we're now accumulating bills of 11.5 million kwacha. That's over 153%. Meanwhile, the customers are still paying the same amount of money.
But not all hope is lost, as the government is considering to come up with a specific tariff for the water sector. NWASCO Chief Inspector Peter Mutare is confident that this will soon be actualized.
We should say, let's have a tariff that is specific to commercial utilities, rather than just lumping them in the other, social people or social groups. Because, when you look at water supply and sanitation, it's an economic good at the same time as social good. So we thought it prudent that the commercial utilities could have their own tariff. So working with the Ministry of Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection, and also Ministry of Energy, ZESCO and the RB, we sat and actually agreed on a tariff that will be applicable to commercial utilities. Ideally, it's supposed to be effective 1st January, but there are certain logistics that are still being put in place to make sure that that is taken care of.
Mr. Mutare tells Camnet News that since there was no upward adjustment in water tariffs, the government and its cooperating partners came on board to cushion operations and maintenance costs for water utility companies.
Because of what happened last year, we did have a board, of course, and then also the issue of COVID-19. Commercial utilities could not effect a new tariff to counter the increase in the electricity tariff. So that became a huge actually problem. And we said, now how do we counter this if we can't counter it with the increase in the tariff for water supply and sanitation? So what we did was that, I think, working with the Ministry of Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection, we had actually to make a number of proposals to government, the Ministry of Finance, to cushion the commercial utilities in terms of the impact of COVID-19 and also the impact of the increase in the electricity tariff.
It is with hope that the water sector electricity tariff will soon be approved to help sustain the water sector, which remains vital in the country's developmental agenda, as affirmed in the phrase, "Water is life." Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
In other news, Inspector General of Police Kakuma Kanganja has warned of stern action against political parties that will be found holding public rallies following the suspension by the Electoral Commission of Zambia ECZ in consultation with other key stakeholders, among them the Ministry of Health. Mr. Kanganja has also revealed that the requirement of political parties to seek certification from health authorities before notifying the police is no longer valid. He says those that do not comply with the public health guidelines will be dealt with in accordance with the provision of the law. Mr. Kanganja made the pronouncement when he addressed police officers in Petauke district, where he is on a tour of Eastern Province, assessing the preparedness of officers to police the general elections.
Has suspended all public rallies and have advised that all political parties should use alternative campaign strategies to reach out to their electorate. It has been observed that public rallies are among the super spreaders of COVID-19 because they attract a lot of crowds. It therefore follows that the Zambia Police Service shall not entertain any public rally. Those who do not comply with this public health guideline will be dealt with in accordance with the provisions of the law. With this development, all political parties and players are therefore advised to use other means of campaigns. Those who wish to undertake door-to-door campaigns are free to do so. However, in doing so, our role as police officers is to ensure that all political parties and players attach strict observance to the COVID-19 guidelines as provided for by the Ministry of Health and the World Health Organization, so as to reduce the spread of this deadly pandemic amongst members of the society.
Forum for Democracy and Development FDD leader EDITH NAWAKWI has backed the candidature of PF's presidential candidate Edgar Lungu. Addressing her members in Lusaka, Ms. NAWAKWI explains that her decision to back the PF is based on the numerous developmental projects implemented by the party. She also explains that President Edgar Lungu has proved to be a caring and and God-fearing man who has united the country. According to her, President Edgar Lungu has also shown leadership in land management. The FDD leader has meanwhile warned Zambians against voting for UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema, whom she accuses of being selfish and lacking experience in running the country. She claims that if Mr. Hichilema wins, he will sell the country to the highest bidder. Ms. NAWAKWI further accuses Mr. Hichilema of being power-hungry, yet he has never held any government or political office to warrant being voted as Zambian president.
Wake up on the 12th of August. Go and cast the vote, Pachiwato. And I know how you do it. You are motivated. And we are going to continue to run the campaign from this secretariat. I want us to make a program for going in around the country to be able to support the current leadership. We shall support. Many people don't know where Chinsadi is. Chinsadi is on the way to Nakonde. Many people don't know where Chinsadi is. It's on the way to Nakonde. And we are extremely excited to have one of us as running mate for the President of the Republic of Zambia.
The women movement has noted with concern that nature is continually under human attack by human actions such as industrialization, urbanization, clearing of large portions of land for agriculture, charcoal burning and harvest of timber, among others. Speaking ahead of World Environmental Day, which falls every 5th of June, Council of Churches in Zambia CCZ Assistant Program Officer Glenda Mwene says activities that do not support climate change have led to deforestation, bringing forest plants to a blink of extinction. This year's World Environmental Day was held under the theme Ecosystem Restoration. And Lusaka District Commissioner's Office Acting District Administrative Officer Maureen Chilende says government is working on restating the lost glory of play parks in the city as one of the important sites for environmental preservation.
Climate change is real, a mantra that is widely used to warn the world of the negative effects of climate change. Every 5th of June, the world celebrates World Environmental Day, to which messages of preserving nature are sent across, with this year's day being held with emphasis on ecosystems restoration. Organizations, among them the Non-Governmental Gender Coordinating Council and its affiliate members, the Lusaka City Council and pupils who are climate ambassadors, took time to raise awareness and clean a park in Lusaka's Rhodes Park area. Speaking on behalf of the pupils, Beatrice Mumba has called on government to ensure that parks are maintained to habitable standards.
We would like you to direct some people or maybe hire security guards to come and be guarding this place so that it remains safe. Even though we plant the trees today, if there's no one to look after them, they will die. We are not saying that we'll not be coming back here to look after them. We will be coming, but meanwhile, while we are still at our schools, we would like you to instruct some people to come and be looking after this place.
And speaking on behalf of NGOCC, Council of Churches in Zambia, Assistant Programs Officer Glenda Mwene says climate change has resulted in many negative effects which are directly linked to affecting women.
Climate change affects both men and women. It is truism that women bear the harshest brand of the negative effect of climate change. Nature is continually under human attack by the human actions. According to the United Nations report, 4.7 million hectares of forest is being lost annually. The environmental problems being faced by man today is a clear indication that nature is angry.
Lusaka City Council Cleaning Superintendent Moses Mulenga also added a voice on this important day.
Know that the environment is not limited or restricted to one country. It's a global problem, and therefore this is the reason why we are all meeting today, to enhance the importance of restoring the ecosystem, which over the years has been damaged due to our practices. And I think all of us truly understand that a few years ago we were doing plastic pollution, isn't it? Now today we are discussing another yet important subject, which is the ecosystem restoration.
Meanwhile, Lusaka District Commissioner's Office Assistant Acting District Administrative Officer Maureen Chilende says government appreciates the efforts of civil society championing climate change issues and the preservation of the environment.
In Zambia have the potential to contribute significantly to household livelihood for most rural communities who depend on wood fuel for cooking and providing of various non-timber forestry productions such as food, herbal medicines. Forestry ecosystems also provide habitats for many wildlife and other living organisms.
Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News, Lusaka.
IG vows to ensure that no political party holds rallies. EDITH NAWAKWI says HH can't rule Zambia because he is a selfish man. Those were the details. Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. Good afternoon.